We went from 0 to 20,000 TikTok followers in under 60 days by following these exact 7 tips. We also repurposed this work and got 15,000 followers on Facebook and Instagram with almost no extra effort. So if you're struggling to get traction on them or looking to grow your personal brand, make sure to keep watching and take some notes. So the first thing that really helped us grow and get out of the sandbox on TikTok was actually using one of our weaknesses as a strength. And this is a weakness that a lot of people have. It's that your content gets localized. So for example, if you're in the US, people from the US are going to see your videos. If you're from Ireland, which I am, people from Ireland are going to see my videos. It's the way the TikTok algorithm works. It pushes content out locally. And obviously when you get really big as a creator, it will start pushing it further afield. But for the first 10, 20, 30, 40,000 followers, it's going to be localized. So what you should do in this situation is lean into that. Because you know people in the local area are going to see it, whatever your topic, whatever you're talking about, make sure to direct it towards them. It adds an extra layer of depth to your content. So if I'm in marketing, for example, and I'm talking about pricing strategies, I'm not going to talk about some American company. I'm not going to start talking about the pricing of, say, Tesla and how they price their cars. I'm going to talk about the price of a Guinness. Something that I know is very Irish, so when my audience see it, they'll say to themselves, this video is for me. So they're Irish and they're also into marketing. So whatever country you're posting from, keep this in mind. Use local references. The second thing that really helped is to use 3 hooks in the beginning. So first we have a visual hook that's going to contrast with the verbal hook. And thirdly, we're going to use the title as the third hook. So to give you an example of how this would work, if the video is about some sales psychology strategies, you can present it like this. The visual hook is going to pop up at the start of the video saying sales psychology is wild. So they're going to see that text popping up in the middle of their screen as soon as they scroll on. It's going to catch their attention for about half a second. Then you can come in with a complimentary verbal hook. Have you ever wondered why people buy books or courses when they don't even start them? Something along those lines. And thirdly, we can use the text hook, which is going to be the title. And this again will add another layer, and this is adding a couple more seconds onto their watch time. So this could be something strong like 3 sales psychology tricks to sell anything. So instead of just using 1 hook or 2 hooks, you can layer in 3. The third thing that really helped is simple editing. Everybody seems to think the best strategy is to put as many bells and whistles and pop-ups in your videos to keep attention. Now this is one way of doing it, but it comes with a problem. If you don't respect your audience, you're going to attract an audience that doesn't respect you. So instead of using cheap gimmicks and rapid cuts to keep people watching your video, use psychological principles to get that retention. Things like the 3 strong hooks that I just mentioned. Use pattern interrupts. So when they're scrolling through the feed, do something that's a little bit unorthodox, but that still ties into your brand and your video. In one of our videos, for example, when we have a segment about topical news, we'll be holding the newspaper, shaking it at the camera, and then throw it down on the table. This just breaks the attention of the person scrolling through the feed. It's subtle, but these things work. And of course, you can use visual aids as well to keep this retention. But make sure the visual aid is a chart or something that's actually adding to the video, not just a cheap pop-up. I've been guilty of this in the past myself, and I know that you don't need to do it. You're going to just attract the wrong crowd. And you can create intrigue and use psychological triggers like saying, keep watching, wait till the end, these sort of things. And one of the most powerful but also difficult retention strategies is learning how to tell good stories. Once you provide a hook and you capture somebody into a story, they're much more likely to watch the entire video than if it's just going to be you giving random tips. Again, this is something that is difficult to do and takes time to master. And the only way getting there is just by practicing and doing more and more and more repetitions. The fourth thing that helped us grow was to use a content matrix. This just means that we know what we're recording each day. It also helps keep a nice mix of those stories that I was talking about, also keeping your content fresh, keeping it topical, but not missing out on the actionable and fundamental tips that people are coming there for. So by keeping a content matrix of all the topics that you'd like to talk about and a couple of different ways you can talk about them, you can go in each week and you can make sure you're hitting on all of these points. This makes sure that it's not just interesting and fresh for you, it's also interesting and fresh for your audience. So when you know what topics you're going to talk about, and this can expand over time as you're growing your brand, you can mix in content ideas like actionable tips. These are kind of the fundamentals in your industry. You can talk about recent news in your industry. This means you'll never run out of content. You can also have opinion pieces about how other people are perceiving the news in your industry. Stories and anecdotes are a great one too. If you're doing client calls, you can also use some of the things that come up in those client calls as content as well. This is a fantastic way of attracting new clients also. And some other things you can do are things like listicles as well, like list posts, top 5x in your industry. Top 3 marketing books you read this year. And another fantastic thing to pepper in here is replying to comments that people leave on your posts. This is a great way of engaging with your audience at scale and letting them know that you're a creator who is not just on the other end of the camera, you're actually engaging with them back and forth. The fifth thing that will really help your account blow up is what's calling choosing an anchor keyword. So this anchor keyword that I'm talking about, you want to be putting this, you can put it in your username if you want. You can also put it in your bio. And then every video you're posting, it's going to be your first hashtag. So if I'm talking about some AI strategy in marketing, I'm always going to use marketing as that first hashtag. And I'm going to use then AI and the other smaller hashtags after it. Just because you're picking this anchor term to base your account around doesn't mean you're not going to get traction in other areas. It doesn't mean you just have to talk about this one thing. And one of the ways you can see if the algorithm is picking up that this is your industry, this is who we should be showing your video to, is by checking out the search bar in your videos. And on TikTok, it will actually tell you what search term you're ranking for. So if you have a marketing channel, for example, and you see in the search bar in the top of your video that it says something like psychology or something like that, the algorithm is not picking up exactly what you're talking about. So therefore, it's not going to be showing you to the right people. So if you're talking about sales psychology and marketing, you want to make sure that you're gearing the algorithm towards your main topic, your main content. And as I said, the way to do this is by using that anchor keyword and putting it everywhere. The sixth thing I almost wasn't going to post, but I have to post it because this is when we really start getting traction, is when we start posting consistently, as in every single day, one video every day. And now that content matrix that I was talking about a few minutes ago is a great way to do that. I'm going to put a link to that below this video so you can download it. And all you need to do is populate it with your own stuff. So on the left hand side, you put down all the topics as you're growing your brand. And on the top, you can just then go across and see what you want to talk about that day. But one 30, 40, 50, 60-second video every single day is absolutely required. And the beauty of this, as I touched on earlier, is that you can redistribute these videos across 4 different platforms. So you can do Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. And LinkedIn are going to soon add a video feed to their platform. This is going to be an amazing opportunity to grow your brand as well. So make sure to get ahead of it. All the videos that you're creating now, make sure you're saving them and putting them in a folder because you can then use them on LinkedIn when they do introduce this feature. And the 7th thing that's really going to help you grow, there's no point of getting views and attention if you're not capturing it. So we want to have a really strong bio. We want to have a value proposition that attracts people and gets them from not just viewers to followers. We want to give them a real solid, tangible reason to click that follow button. And the 2 easiest ways to do this with few characters that they actually give us to fill out our bio is by telling people who the channel is for and what they're going to get if they follow. So for example, my channel is for people who want to build and grow their brand and nail their marketing. And by following, they'll get the latest opportunities and tips to do just that. So if this sounds like you, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.